What is going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here again at Tokyo Expressway for the outer loop, one of the loops again. As we are starting in a brand new car. We're not doing the Toyota like everybody else. We're actually starting in the Honda NSXs. I've actually seen some guys running really quick with the Honda NSX, and they seem to do pretty well with the NSX. So I decided to give it a go, and I've been just having a lot better results because of the NSX. So you can get really fast times on here. As you can see, we're changing to the mediums. We're actually doing two races here. The first race we're gonna start on the hards, switch off to the mediums, and then the second race we're gonna do mediums, switching off to the hard. So before we jump into those races, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into the first race. So coming into our first race here, again, we are starting in the NSX. Unlike the everybody else, everyone else is using the Toyota. So let's see if we could try to gain some advantage on them. As you can see, actually second place is using the NSX on this lobby. So it's gonna be two NSXs, a lot of Toyotas, and then a Veyron back in 12th place. But we are starting in 5th place for this race, as we are right behind 3 Brazilians and a Canadian. So let's see what we can do here as we jump up into lap number 1. So coming to the beginning part of lap number 1 now, we're heading down to turn number 1, which is a quick right-hander. You have to brake very early and try to get a good exit here, as you're gonna go full throttle into this next right-hander. That's gonna lead you down to this downhill section, and it's gonna be a long straight from here. That's gonna lead you into a fast right. So again, starting on the hards on this race here, we're just gonna try to hold off as many cars as we can, as since it is a narrow track, it is a lot more easier to do a lot more defending here. It's mainly a one-line track. As you can see, a car is already trying to make a move on us on the inside. We have to give him the position there so we don't go side by side on this tricky left-right-hander here. Going side by side can be detrimental here, especially the fact that if you go side by side, one of you guys are gonna end up hitting that barrier. So it's a lot of give and take on this racetrack until like the final few laps, and it's mainly just take and take. So right now we're just gonna give, since we are on the slower tires. You can see right now we are back in 6th places. There's a car right behind us on the radar. We're gonna try to do our best to try to hold our positions. We run into the wall right there. The car right behind us actually gives us a little bit of a bump there, so we're catching up to 5th place. We're trying to make a move onto the inside, but we think twice about it. Give him a little bit of a bump right there so we can catch up to 4th place as we head into turn number 1, leading us into this fast right-hander here. So right behind the slipstream now of 5th place. Let's see if we could try to get a good run down here and hopefully try to get some speed going into the fast right-hander coming up here as we come down this long straightaway. Coming down the long straightaway now, we're right behind 5th place. A little too far back to try to make any type of move, but 5th place actually runs a little bit wide. He goes into the wall, and is that going to allow us to go into the inside? As we're trying to cover right there, but you can see the car behind us had a service penalty, but he was on the inside of us and was about to try to make an overtake, but luckily he had a service penalty. So we stay in 6th place, as we're still right behind the Brazilian. So jumping into lap number 4 now, we head into this fast right-hander. The Brazilian goes out wide again, makes contact with the wall, and that allows us to catch up to him as we're gaining time on him heading into this right-hander. It's going to lead us into a tunnel. Still catching up to the Brazilian as we head into this right-hander. Brake right before that sign on the left-hand part of the track. But we get a really bad entrance into that turn, and a really bad entrance coming off of the tunnel section. And we lose about 4/10 away from the 5th place Brazilian as we jump up into lap number 7. So coming to lap number 7 now, we were able to gain time on him, as 4th place is actually starting to fade back too. So not sure if he's on the hards as well, just like us. But you can see the Red Bull livery Toyota right behind us is now on our back bumper too. So it's going to be a 4-way battle for 4th place as we're heading into the tunnel now. The car right behind us is trying to make a look onto the inside, but we're able to hover the position as we fast forward here, leading us into the final part of the lap. So coming to the final part of the lap, you see cars ahead of us are coming into the pits, so we're able to get a position because of that, but we lose it again because they just came out of the pits now. So again, fighting for 4th places, we are now getting a look on the inside from the car right behind us. We're going to go side by side as we head into turn number 1. We back out of the move there, so we avoid contact coming out of that corner. As you see, he would have probably ran us into the wall, so we have to give up 6th place. Again, not too bad because we're still on the hards, so once we switch off from the hards to the mediums, we should be faster than some of these cars ahead of us, as I believe 6th and 5th are both on the mediums. So we'll see what happens here as we come down this long straightaway leading us to this fast right-hander. So still a 4-way battle. As you can see, the 2 cars ahead of us actually make contact right there. Is that going to allow us to catch up to them? Yes, it is. So now we're right behind 6th place. We're going down to the inside before we head into the tunnel. Luckily, we have a lot more speed than the sixth place car. We're able to make an overtake on the white Toyota as we're now right behind this fifth place right here as we're heading to the right-hander. Brake very, very late as we come into the right and left-hander. We're still right behind them as the Red Bull is able to overtake all three of us and is now in fourth place. As I think we're going to come into the pits here, so we're still right behind the Toyota here as we're heading to the left-hander. That's going to lead us into the final few corners. We're going to try to go into the inside right here, but we're going to go into the pits, so we're going to the inside. We actually make contact with the Toyota. He's banging us into the wall, and luckily both of us made it into the pit stops as we're going to switch off from the hards to the mediums. We come out on the mediums in sixth place, but we get a 1 second penalty. I think we got that 1 second penalty because sixth place rammed us into the wall, and the penalty system thought that we ran into the wall for I don't know what, but we get a 1 second penalty. So that's definitely not going to do us good on the strategy here as we are now fighting for sixth place here as we come down this long straightaway. We have the preferred tires now as we're coming down to this fast right-hander, but we're going to have to serve our penalty on this lap. So let's see if we lose any positions and how much time we actually lose on sixth place as we get very, very loose coming out of that fast right-hander. Serving our penalty now. Let's see what happens here as we're coming down this straightaway. Luckily, there's no car behind us, so we stay in seventh place as we come into the tunnel section at the end of lap number 7. So coming into lap number 15, we're on the final lap, and you can see we're 2 seconds right behind fifth place as we are able to promote ourselves into sixth place. So let's see if we could try to snatch away fifth place as I believe he's on the hard tires. You can see we gained already 0.2 of a second on him as it's just 1 or 2 corners right there as we're heading down this long straightaway leading us to the fast right-hander. Coming to the fast right-hander now, we're trying to just hit all our apexes and just use these medium tires to their ability as we're coming down this long straightaway that's going to take us into the tunnel section. See, we're going blue now on that section. We're actually doing a really pretty fast lap here as we're almost doing a PB here as we come down to the tunnel section. Now we are only a second behind fifth place. As you can see, he's really struggling with his tires here. We're coming to the final sector now as we come underneath here, going into the tunnel now. We're almost on his back bumper now as we're heading down into the tunnel section. Right on his back bumper now. Are we going to be able to make an overtake here as we try to make a move onto the outside? He brakes very early. We make contact with him. Almost ran into the wall, but we lose time because of that. Now as he comes into this last corner here, very wide, we actually get a really good exit. We're going to go side by side. It's going to be a photo finish. Who's going to get fifth place? And the car ahead of us actually gets fifth place as we were a little too far back to try to make the move. But very close to get fifth place. So very entertaining races. We're going to jump into our second one now. So coming into our second race now, we are starting in fifth place. As this race, we're going to start off on the mediums and then switch off on the hards. So let's see if this strategy will be actually better than the strategy previous on the last race as we come into lap number 1. So coming into lap number 1, heading into the first corner now. We're right behind the Toyotas ahead of us as we are trying to catch up to fourth place. Not sure if he started on the hards or the mediums, but we'll be able to tell after about a lap's time now as we're heading down this long straightaway that's going to lead us into the fast right-hander. Still right behind them as we're in the slipstream here. We actually get a pretty good run as we come down the straightaway. We're looking onto the inside, but a little too optimistic of a move as he makes contact with the wall ahead of us. And they're going to go really wide as they come out here, but luckily they both don't hit the wall, so we're still right behind them as we're going to head into the tunnel section now. Still trying to peek onto the inside as we have better grip than him coming down the straightaway. He goes a little bit wide, but we're still right behind him as we come out of the tunnel section now. Just no place for us to make an overtake as we're just following him on the slipstream as we come into this final sector now. Looking onto the inside here, we squeeze ourselves inside there. He's trying to make contact with us in the wall. We make contact with the wall. We actually lose the spot right there as we're coming down to the final few corners now. So we just got to be very patient now as we're going to try to make a move on fourth place in one of these corners here, but we just got to get alongside of him and make the overtake on the inside as we come out of this final corner. Now he actually makes contact with the wall and we're able to overtake him, so that was a lot more easier than what I was expecting as we come into lap number 2. He makes a mistake, runs into the wall, loses speed, and we're able to capitalize on that as we jump into the middle part of lap number 2. So now we're in the middle part of lap number 2 as we are in fourth place. I think second and third are both on the hards as we're getting a ton of time with them. They both make contact with the wall and we're able to overtake third place on the tunnel section now. Second place makes another contact with the wall right there as he makes another mistake. We're making a move onto the outside that's going to turn into the inside as we head into the second tunnel section. And we're able to make the overtake there as we are now in second place and set our sights on first place at the end of lap number 2. So Very, very good opening laps right there, as we are now on lap number 3, but third place is starting to catch up to us now as we head into the straightaway that's going to lead us into the first tunnel section. We're still in second here as he's gaining a ton of time, makes a little bit of contact with us. We're able to hold it there together, and we're actually able to run away a little bit more as we come into this final sector of lap number 3. And you can see right there that we're just losing, or we're getting time on third place as we now jump up into lap number 8. So coming into lap number 8, we're gonna have to serve our pit stop here as we're starting to run out of tire wear on the mediums. Third place comes in too as he started on the hards. He's gonna switch off to mediums as we do the reverse and we switch off from the mediums to the hards. Now it's gonna be a very, very interesting race as we jump up into lap number 14, as third place has a lot faster of tires than us as we are on the hards now. So this is basically where the race begins as we are now on the final lap. So you can see in our rearview mirror that third place is now on our back bumper as he's only 0.6 of a second behind us as we come into the first corner now. Now all we have to do is just hit all our marks and just be as smooth as possible, avoid any type of mistakes as we come into this long straightaway here. You see third place is gaining a ton of time on us as he's only 2 seconds or 0.2 seconds behind us as we're coming down this long straightaway. He's gonna try, we're gonna cover the inside here, so he's gonna try to make a move onto the outside. We try to keep on to the inside, but he actually makes a beautiful overtake on the outside there. And now we're gonna stay right behind him as we're gonna head to the slipstream, leading us into the first tunnel section. Are we gonna be able to make anything happen here as we're gonna follow him on the slipstream? Hopefully his medium tires wear out a little bit more than ours now as we come into the final part of the final lap here. He makes contact with the wall there, makes a little bit of a mistake. He runs into the wall again, and we're starting to catch up to him now as we're coming to the final few corners. We're now almost on his back bumper here as he lost a lot of momentum coming down the straightaway as we're going to try to make a move onto the inside, but we're a little too far back. We brake as soon as early as we can as we make contact with him now coming into the final final parts of the lap now. We're still trying to make a move onto the inside. Let's see if he makes contact with the wall as he goes very, very fast into that corner, but he is able to keep it together, and we finish on the podium in third place, 0.7 behind second place. So very, very entertaining second race there as we were able to almost get second place, but nowhere near first. I mean, you can see he was 17 seconds away from us, but very, very happy with that strategy. We were able to get a really good finish on this race as we just have been struggling on this race. We haven't been able to do anything better than a fifth. So this is actually my first podium of the week. So very, very happy to get at least a third on this race. But next goal is to shoot for a win before the week ends and before we start hopping into FIA ranking lobbies. But anyways, very, very proud of a third place there. We're able to keep it together and make the strategy work. So yeah, if you guys are running this race, try out the NSX, see if you guys like it. I mean, like I said, I really didn't like it at first, but over time it's been the go-to car for me on this race. It's just been the best performing car for me when doing these races. So if you guys found this video very entertaining, again, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video as it really helps out the channel. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace out.